So that makes sense. That would be a little resistance. And then ultimately, if that can get broken, there's a chance we could retest this area, right?
Hello, and welcome back to the Daily Crypto. Once again, we have Gareth Soloway with us today. Finally, we get to hear some good news for the crypto space, as Gareth tells us how we can see Bitcoin bouncing from current levels before dumping even harder again. If you don't want to lose any more money and you want to stay safe, keep watching because this could be the piece of information you need to bring your trading account back in the green. Without wasting any more time, let's continue with the video.
When you talk about resistance levels, this is like the mega resistance level. This one, I honestly don't think it gets through. 25.5 maybe, this 28 and change, I think it gets there possibly, and then that's the next start of the rollover that I have a target down to about 12 to 13,000. I do think we could even go sub 10,000 briefly in this next phase. And I agree, you've seen people very negative, but not at the capitulation point. And again, it's important to remember that to see capitulation, you have to see people go through all stages of loss. So you have denial, you have, there's like 5 or 6 or 7 different phases. We haven't reached the final one at this point. So I do think that we have to see that. And then I do think at that point, you put in a longer term low where you'll see the next bull market potentially start after some choppiness.
Gareth tells us about how human psychology plays a role in moving the market in a certain direction. He's basically talking about what we know as the herd mentality, where people tend to follow what everyone else is doing. They buy when they see big green bars and sell their positions when the market starts to drop a little. This whole process causes big impulsive moves in either direction. Further expanding on what he said earlier, Gareth explains the concept of FOMO and tells us how it can all add up, potentially causing a reversal of the trend. Enjoying the video till now? Keep watching because he's about to reveal some very important details which you don't want to miss out on, unless you don't like making money, of course. Before we continue, consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel for more quality content like this. It's free.
I mean, they look at a snapshot and they exclude certain data. So you have to take that into account. But again, one of the things that I think is key is watch price action off of news, and that tells you a lot. So the news this morning from the jobs report would have signaled a jump in the dollar because it increased the likelihood of more rate hikes. And instead, after the initial pop, the dollar reversed. And that's putting in what we would call potentially a topping tail, which is a technical bearish indicator based on the candle forming today. So you combine that with those trend lines that I just showed on the monthly chart, and we may have a decline in the dollar, which to me tells me gold probably rallies, silver rallies, and potentially Bitcoin can rally as well in the near term. Now, this is very near term. I still don't think the low is in, just like you. I still think we need to see capitulation, but I do think that at least the dollar should be followed here because it is a good indicator for the potential of Bitcoin putting in a bounce or a decent little bounce here.
If Gareth is going long on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Matic at this point, it must really mean something because let's be honest, most of us would get scared of just thinking about longing, given the bloody condition of the market at this point. However, he is not planning on holding onto his trades for too long and advises to continue taking profits along the way because he still expects a bigger shakeout. Watch this next clip.
I did think that crypto was oversold. The fact that it's holding the 2000, and this is where, so I'm a big fan of psychology in terms of human psychology and trading that, because remember, it doesn't matter if you're trading stocks, commodities, Forex, or crypto, people are trading those. Therefore, if you analyze psychology of the human nature, you can actually learn a lot. So one of the things I'm expecting here is this little uptick in crypto. Notice it's coming back above the 2017 highs. And if we can inch up like past that 21.8-ish level, I think you'll start to see people, the human psychology is going to start ticking in here. And you're going to see people starting to say, wait a minute, it held that 2017 high, it's back above. It's going to start rotating from a very bearish sentiment into more of a neutral or bullish, which is going to get investors to buy into it. And then ultimately, as it moves up, then you'll eventually see those people that are getting bullish, unfortunately, wiped out on the next leg down. But it's just human nature, right? It's just human nature. There we go, Wendy. I see.
Reminiscing on the dot-com crash of 2000, he compares Bitcoin to Amazon, that how it fell from $112 to $6, and how Bitcoin hasn't hit bottom yet. He believes it has to go down further till about 12,000 before it can move back up,
which is going to get investors to buy into it. And then ultimately, as it moves up, then you'll eventually see those people that are getting bullish, unfortunately, wiped out on the next leg down. But it's just human nature, right? It's just human nature. There we go, Wendy. I see. There. I mean, ultimately, I think that as we creep up, you're going to get people to kind of start to believe that you might have a longer term low. You'll see more bullish chatter out there in the news media, and that'll just be a self-fulfilling prophecy to help keep Bitcoin up a little bit. But inevitably, the next deleveraging event will occur. The stock market will come down again as we probably go deeper into a recession, an earnings recession. And we know that the NASDAQ has been a leader for Bitcoin, and therefore 12,000, 13,000 is my next target once we come back in. But in all fairness, I am long Bitcoin right now. I'm riding it at least to 25.5, and then maybe as high as 28 or so before I look to take profits and then look for that next wave down.
Gareth says Bitcoin will be pulling off something like Amazon and will be a great long-term investment, but it won't come without any pain. He provides reasoning as to why he believes $12,000 Bitcoin. He provides reasoning as to why he believes $12,000 Bitcoin is in the cards, but also warns that it may never get that low, which is why he is opting to dollar cost average until he builds a sizable long-term position. He also gives some tips to new traders to improve their trading in the next clip.
I think, like you said, Bitcoin, people need to recognize it. And again, so I love comparing Bitcoin to gold because they're both technically stores of safety. The difference is gold has been a store of safety for thousands of years. You could go back to ancient Egypt and it was a store of value in ancient Egypt, thousands of years ago. And Bitcoin is what, a 13-year-old? And I know you have kids, I have kids, but like mine aren't 13 by any stretch. I don't know if yours are, but they're not. You give a 13-year-old and say, okay, think logically and don't be irrational, and you're not going to get that. So people have to realize that Bitcoin is a 13-year-old. It's going to be wild. It's going to have crazy swings until it matures into kind of that more stable asset, which will come in time.
Soloway offers excellent advice to new traders that are just starting out and says they should focus on preserving their capital instead of being greedy because the chances of losing money are very high in the beginning when they're starting out. We hope you found this information useful. Subscribe to the Daily Crypto channel and press the bell icon so you never miss out on any of our new uploads. See you on the next one, and bye for now.